This little eaglet will lead rescuers to save his mom from giant python. This is a story of bravery and quick thinking by this little bird. A mother, bald eagle, was in grave danger on the Oregon coast when her tiny son embarked on a desperate quest for help. He had never done anything like this before, but he was able to communicate with a photographer in such a way that he understood what he wanted. And so the man set off on a mission to save the bald eagle and her life. You won't believe what you're about to see in today's video. A brave little bird, full of heart, takes the lead and guides a photographer to save its mom from a really dangerous situation. It's just incredible how these two seem to totally get each other, right? Their bond is something special. The backstory behind this amazing moment is so touching and will definitely tug at your heartstrings. You'll see how instinct and love can come together in the wild. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. The photographer who captured this image explained that this was not just a regular day out shooting birds. He received a call from someone who had seen a large python near a beach and was worried that something might have happened to a bald eagle nest nearby. Concerned by the news, he headed over to the location where he met a local wildlife official. Together, they began scanning the area, trying their best to spot the birds of prey from a distance. But, unfortunately, the eagle wasn't anywhere to be found. As they were about to give up, the photographer noticed something strange. A lone eaglet was perched on top of a dead tree, swaying its body back and forth. Noticing this unusual behavior, he decided to get closer for a better look. As he approached the bird, he could hear it making loud screeching noises, and then something even more surprising happened. The bird started to move its head in a way that indicated it wanted him to follow it. Intrigued by this unexpected turn of events, the photographer agreed. Following the eagle's lead, they walked along the shore until they came across some rocks covered in seaweed. It was here that the photographer saw something shocking. A large python coiled around a dead tree stump with a familiar sight dangling from its mouth. It was the same eagle he had seen earlier. The only difference now was that it wasn't perched on a tree, but rather hanging limply from the python's grasp. With the discovery of the eagle in peril, the photographer quickly snapped into action. He grabbed his camera and took several pictures which he later posted online. In the images, the majestic bird can be seen trapped tightly in the jaws of the giant serpent. Its wings and tail are wrapped securely around its body while its beak is clamped shut, unable to make any noise as it struggles to free itself from the constricting grip. The desperation of the situation is palpable in these photographs, serving as a stark reminder of the harsh realities faced by eagles in their natural habitat. The photographer knew that he had to take swift and decisive action. He contacted a team of professional rescuers who were able to arrive at the scene quickly. Working together, they carefully removed the snake from the tree and freed the eagle from its clutches. Once it was safe on the ground, they examined it for any injuries and thankfully found none. After ensuring its well-being, they returned the magnificent bird to its rightful place in the sky, soaring high above the treetops once more. Thanks to the quick thinking and swift actions of the photographer and the rescuers, this amazing creature got a well-deserved second chance at freedom. Isn't that just awesome? It's like a little miracle, right? Seriously, it's heartwarming to see how teamwork can change lives. I mean, just think about it. One moment, this creature is in trouble, and the next, a group of passionate individuals comes together to save the day. We all need a little help sometimes, don't we? It's a beautiful reminder that when we unite for a common cause, we can make a huge difference. Whether it's rescuing wildlife or supporting each other in tough times, those moments of connection and compassion are what truly matter. It's proof that kindness can lead to incredible transformations, and honestly, who doesn't want to be part of something that feels so good? But why did the baby bird go to get help? Eagles typically build their nests in remote locations deep within forests, away from the prying eyes of predators and humans alike. However, sometimes these nests can become compromised, forcing the birds to find alternative shelters. This may include perching in trees close to their homes or even venturing into urban areas. When the eaglet's parents' nest was destroyed, They were forced to find refuge on a rocky beach near the python. This situation left them vulnerable as the ground offered little protection from aerial predators such as hawks. To make matters worse, the female eagle had been seriously injured, making it difficult for her to fly. This left her grounded and unable to flee when the python struck, leaving her dangling helplessly in its grasp. In a moment of desperation, the male eagle swooped down and attempted to attack the serpent. However, this proved futile, and he too was captured, hanging alongside his mate. Faced with this grim situation, one of the parents knew they had to take drastic measures. So it left the nest, seeking assistance from a fellow eagle. Unfortunately, this meant leaving their offspring behind. Meanwhile, the python continued to tighten its coils around the trapped eagles, slowly cutting off their air supply. Despite this, the parent was able to successfully summon reinforcements. Upon arrival, the other eagle immediately went into action. It dive-bombed the python in an attempt to scare it away, distracting it long enough for the trapped birds to regain their freedom. When the python finally released its grip, the eagles were severely weakened and barely clinging to life. Thankfully, they managed to survive the ordeal. However, the ordeal took a toll on their physical health and left them unable to care for their offspring. This meant that someone else would have to step in and provide nourishment for the eaglet. That someone was none other than the dedicated photographer. Every single morning, without fail, he would visit the little eaglet, bringing it fresh fish to keep it alive and healthy until the day it could finally be reunited with its parents. But, sadly, that reunion never happened. The parents ultimately abandoned the eaglet, leaving it to fend for itself. Can you imagine the heartbreak? This little creature, once full of hope, was left alone in the world, relying solely on the kindness of a stranger. It's a real testament to the power of compassion, don't you think? The photographer was initially tempted to raise the little eaglet himself. I mean, who wouldn't want to nurture such a majestic bird, right? But then reality hit him. This eagle was protected by law, and keeping it as a pet would land him in some serious trouble. So he did the right thing and reached out to a wildlife rehabilitation center for some guidance. They were super helpful and agreed to take the eaglet off his hands. But there was a catch. He had to bring it in within the next 2 days. Time was ticking, and he knew he had to act fast to ensure the little guy got the care it needed. With the clock ticking away, the photographer sprang into action, moving quickly but carefully to transport the eaglet to its new home. He felt a mix of hope and urgency, wanting nothing more than for this little guy to thrive. Once at the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, it was all hands on deck. Over the next few weeks, the eaglet blossomed, gaining strength and health thanks to the dedicated team. They provided everything from nutritious meals to cozy nesting spots, ensuring the eaglet felt safe and loved. It was truly heartwarming to see how the eaglet responded, flapping its wings and showing signs of becoming a fierce, independent bird. Watching this transformation was like witnessing a little miracle unfold right before their eyes. But here's the thing. The eaglet still had some important skills to pick up if it was going to thrive out there in the wild, right? It needed to master hunting and flying, which are pretty crucial for survival. So, the dedicated team at the center really rolled up their sleeves, putting in countless hours to prepare this little guy for its big return to nature. They didn't just provide basic care, they offered specialized training, like teaching it how to spot prey and perfect its flying techniques. Can you imagine the excitement when it finally soared into the sky? They were all about making sure it was ready to tackle whatever challenges awaited it in the great outdoors. But here's the thing. The eaglet still had some important skills to pick up if it was going to thrive out there in the wild, right? It needed to master hunting and flying, which are pretty crucial for survival. So, the dedicated team at the center really rolled up their sleeves, putting in countless hours to prepare this little guy for its big return to nature. They didn't just provide basic care, they offered specialized training, like teaching it how to spot prey and perfect its flying techniques. Can you imagine the excitement when it finally soared into the sky? They were all about making sure it was ready to tackle whatever challenges awaited it in the great outdoors. As they opened the enclosure, the eaglet hesitated for just a moment, taking in the vast blue sky above. Then, with a powerful flap of its wings, it soared into the air, leaving behind the safe haven that had been its home. It was such a magical sight. The staff cheered, feeling that mix of joy and hope. This was not just a bird being released. It was a symbol of resilience and freedom, ready to explore the world. How incredible is that? As it flew, the eaglet scanned the landscape below, searching for signs of its parents. Although it had never met them before, it had an innate sense of where they would be. After an extensive search, it finally spotted a familiar sight, a majestic bald eagle perched atop a dead tree. With a heart full of joy, the eaglet flew towards its parent, eager to be reunited. Upon spotting its young one, the adult bald eagle let out a loud, proud screech, like a joyful shout welcoming its child home. They soared together in the sky, dancing around each other with a series of clicks and whistles that felt like a secret language only they understood. It was such a heartwarming sight, right? You could really feel the strong bond between parent and child. It's like watching a beautiful reunion that reminds us how special family connections are in the animal kingdom. Just imagine how these majestic creatures communicate their love and excitement. It's truly a stunning moment in nature that makes you appreciate the beauty of wildlife. From that day on, the little eaglet was totally vibing with its family, soaking up all their wisdom and knowledge like a sponge. It felt like this beautiful circle was finally coming back around, you know? Imagine learning how to soar high in the sky, just like its parents. How cool is that? It was stepping into the life it was always meant to live, and you could just feel the excitement in the air. Watching the eaglet grow and thrive was like witnessing a magical transformation. Isn't it amazing how family can shape who we become? So, what is the moral of this story? There are many valuable lessons we can learn from this incredible story. One of the most important is the significance of courage. The eaglet displayed remarkable bravery when it ventured out to seek help for its trapped parents. Despite being so young and inexperienced, it knew that something had to be done to save its family. This act of courage was the catalyst that ultimately led to the rescue of the eagles. Another lesson we can learn is the power of perseverance. The eagles' ordeal was far from over once they were freed from the python's grasp. They were severely injured and unable to care for themselves, which meant that the eaglet had to wait for its parents to recover before it could reunite with them. Throughout this difficult time, the eaglet remained hopeful and patient, demonstrating remarkable resilience. This story really shines a light on how important it is to be resourceful, right? The eaglet, with no fancy weapons or tools, managed to outsmart a huge python. Can you believe that? It called for help and came up with a clever plan to rescue its parents. This just proves that sometimes using your brain and being quick on your feet can make all the difference between winning and losing. It's like when you're in a tough spot and you think outside the box, that's where the magic happens. The story really highlights how important it is to be adaptable, right? Just think about it. The eagles had to leave their cozy nest behind when it got destroyed. They ended up seeking refuge on a beach, which is such a drastic change. But here's the cool part. They didn't just give up. Instead, they rolled with the punches and found a way to thrive in those tough circumstances. It's like a powerful reminder of how resilient these magnificent creatures are. They show us that even when life throws curveballs, we can find new ways to survive and flourish. Isn't that inspiring? Finally, this story teaches us the value of compassion. The photographer's decision to care for the eaglet until it could be taken to a wildlife rehabilitation center is a commendable example of compassion in action. Similarly, the staff at the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center demonstrated great empathy and understanding in their treatment of the bird, ensuring that it was well cared for during its time there. This story is all about courage, perseverance, and a whole lot of heart. It beautifully illustrates that even when life throws us curveballs, hope can shine through like a beacon. Think about those moments when you felt like giving up, but something inside you just wouldn't let you. Plus, it's a powerful reminder that every living creature, big or small, deserves our love and respect, right? Whether it's a stray dog finding its way home or a friend battling their own demons, we all need a little kindness in our lives. Isn't that what makes us human? We really hope you had a blast watching this video. If you're loving what you see and want to dive into more fun content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on anything new we've got coming up. Your support means the world to us, and we're super excited to keep sharing amazing stuff with you. Thanks a ton for tuning in, and we can't wait to catch you in the next video. Until then, take care.